Hi, welcome to the 2020 Rebecca Conference for Women, the virtual edition. I'm Tracey Kelly and I'll be sharing with you today. I recently moved to Montana with my husband and my son. We have begun a ministry here called Cairn Ministries, and our plan is to offer a space for pastors to come and take a sabbatical. Pastors are often worked and overburdened with so many personal aspects of people's lives that they are unable to share with other people, and they need a place to just get away and have some quiet time to themselves to get closer to God. And we want to offer a space for them to come to do that. We love it here in Montana and we plan to live here forever, but not everybody can live here, but they could come for a short time and just visit here. Spend some time, get some quiet time away, and then go back to where they came from. Sounds a little funny, but it doesn't matter where they come from. We live off-grid here. We bought land, bare land, and our plan is to keep it as simple as possible. We moved up here with a camper and a trailer with all of our stuff in it. We left Illinois where we had all the amenities of normal life. We had electricity, we had gas, we had water running into our house, into our plumbing, if you will. And we worked and we went home, and we worked and we went home, and we made the money, and everything was just an expense. And we decided that we didn't like it anymore. We wanted to live simpler. So we sold stuff, we donated things, we gave stuff away, and then we packed up the rest in a trailer and a few things in that camper. And we packed it up and we moved across the country. We begun Cairn Ministries, is what it's called, and our focus is just keeping it simple and being closer to God. I was asked to be a part of this conference as it is finding hope in challenging times. And when the coordinator was reviewing some of our newsletters for what we've been through, she says, "Yeah, I think you've been through a few challenging times. And if you were to just pick a topic, we could share a lot or several stories probably on everything where it has been a challenge here. Not a whole lot has been easy. Making friends and meeting people, that part's been easy. We do well with that part of it. But the rest of it has been a bit of a challenge. To say that there was some turmoil is an understatement. The conference has a scriptural theme, is Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. And the focus on this is hope. And the hope that we have is in Christ. And too often we set our sights on hope that is not on God. That we look around and say, "Oh, I hope you feel better. I hope it rains today. I hope you have a happy birthday. I hope all these things," and all we do in that is minimize God. And we try to make ourselves more, and that's not what we want to do here. We're trying, and not always succeeding, but we're trying like crazy here to build something. And to say that we hope that it works is not exactly where we're at. It will work or it won't work, but it'll be God that's in control of all that, whether it comes out or not. Because we've got a lot ahead of us, we've got a lot behind us, and this has been probably the rockiest 14 months of our lives together. We had moved over here, we packed up our stuff, we moved across the country, and along the way, as I was driving the camper behind the truck, and my husband was dragging our trailer with all our stuff in it, we were caravanning across the country, and I got a flat tire in the camper. Okay, sets us back a little bit. We get the guys out there, they change the tire, we get back in, we start traveling again. We have to go to the store so we can get that tire fixed just in case we have another blowout. And then it's 2 some odd hours that we had to wait in a Walmart parking lot. And then we get back on the road again. And we're traveling slow because we're dragging heavy stuff. I have never driven anything quite so big in my entire life. So I'm a little stressed out and trying not to freak out or driving through some traffic. We picked the route that had the least amount of traffic, but there's still cars on the road, and it was quite an ordeal. We go another day, and boom, there's another blowout on the camper, which I'm dragging. Luckily, he's got the trailer, and it's much heavier and full of everything we own that we don't want broken. So thank goodness he had that, and no blowouts on that trailer. But the camper had another blowout, and this time I think it was like 3 hours, 2.5, almost 3 hours in another Walmart parking lot, because everybody apparently was getting tires fixed that week. So we're traveling across the country. We get just into Montana. We're high-fiving we pull alongside each other, and we're air high-fiving each other, and we're happy. We're almost there. We bought this land. We're going to move there and live on it because we've been living in a church for a temporary time. We plan to live in the camper. This is just all sorts of challenges that we kind of planned out, but we didn't have all of it planned out when we made the arrangements. So we get across the border, we're driving along, and then Matthew pulls over and something's wrong. So we pull over behind him. His alternator went out on his truck. I don't know that it went out, but it was going out either way. So we had to call a tow truck, and then the tow truck had to come, so we had to unhook the trailer, and they tow the truck away, and go, oh yeah, I'll come back, I'll tow the trailer. It's the trailer with all our stuff in it, takes that right behind him and takes it to the tow yard, and they'll fix the truck, they'll figure out what it is. So here we go. He's supposed to start work in 2 days. Or no, a day. It was the next day I think he was supposed to start work. And Jonah was supposed to start high school the day after that. So we got to keep on going. So we get the camper. We're all in the truck together with the camper, and we keep on going across the state. And then the winds pick up, and that camper is all over the place, and we just had to go slower and slower and slower. Oh my goodness, are we ever going to get there? So it took a lot longer, and it was probably 2 in the morning, I think, when we pulled into the town near enough to our land, because our road is a dirt road. It's a gravel and dirt road, and it's not the best maintained road at all. So to drag a camper up in the dark was not our favorite idea at all. So we decided to just sleep in the truck behind a gas station in town, wait till first light, and then we would drag that thing up the mountain. So we live on several acres, not on a mountain exactly, but we're about 4,000 feet in elevation. So to us it's a mountain. We come from the plains of Illinois. Huge difference. So we get up in the morning, we wake up, we drag that thing up here, we pull it up, we park it, and as soon as we got it unhitched, we had to unhitch it, and he had to wash up, and then we took him back down the mountain, because now we have one vehicle here, because the other one's on the other side of the state. So we got one vehicle here, and we have to take him to work down in town that we just came from, that we slept behind the gas station. So, get ready, get him cleaned up, we go back down the mountain, take him there. Jonah and I come back up the mountain, and we start cleaning up the area around the camper. There's sticks, and there's debris, and there's cow poo everywhere, because it's Montana, it's open range. So if you don't want cows on your land, you have to fence them out. So we had cow poo everywhere. So we didn't want that, at least right in the space that we were living in. We had to clean all that stuff out. So we have no cell service up here, mind you. Another challenge, no cell service. Any calls and texts that we need to make, we have to go down the mountain to make them until we get phone or internet. So we drop him off at work, come back up here, we're working. For a couple hours we planned to be here before we head down to go get him. And by the time we headed back down there, he had been sitting in a park for like 2 hours or something, reading, because he was only at work for a test, blood test I think is what it was. So he had to go get that done, and that was it. We thought he was going to start working. Oh my goodness, I felt terrible. So here we are, up the mountain, with no cell service and no way to tell each other what's going on. So I felt terrible. We go down the mountain the next day. Jonah goes to high school orientation, and the next day he starts high school, and we are up here and we're cleaning up. I say we're cleaning up the land. It's not dirty. There's not garbage and debris. But there are rocks, and there are sticks, and there are stumps and trees. And when they came through years ago, they would take down some of the trees and it's parking it out. They parked out the land, and a lot of the smaller debris is still all over. Well, I'm clumsy, so when I go walking, I will either roll an ankle or fall on my bottom a lot. So we go through and we're just gathering sticks and trees and things and piling them up, and then plan to have burn piles. So this is what we're working on while Jonah's in school, and then Matthew starts work, and that's a good thing. We had to travel back across the state to go pick up his truck, which was the alternator. It was a week later, so we went across there, got that, drove that back. So we had 2 vehicles coming back. He ran out of gas. We were almost to another town. We're like 20 miles outside of town maybe, and then the truck ran out of gas. We're so close. So it's just another thing after another thing. It's just a heck of a time. We were sleeping in a camper. That's a challenge in itself. We're not used to campers. We've never done that before. Never camped so much, especially not like that. Camper has mold and in the bedroom for sure. So we didn't use the bedroom. So we slept in the living space, the main living space. We had air mattresses set up in there, and we weren't sure about the water pipes in the camper, so we didn't use them too much. We didn't fill up the water tanks, and we didn't use the waste tanks, so we used buckets, and for a time we showered outside. And then eventually got a little cold outside, and we were tired of being exposed to all the wilderness out there, so we decided to try the shower, and we ran some water through it, and it came out just fine. So we figured that we could just use a shower and do it that way, so it's inside. Not really, kind of like we were doing outside, but just inside. So we didn't have any plumbing in there. The electricity, we don't have electricity up here off-grid. We have generators, so we were able to run things and have electricity at times, but we have the noise of a generator. Eventually, when we build our forever home up top, our cabin will have solar and possibly wind power, so that will be a quieter energy source. It's a challenge again, it's another challenge, but we have sunshine here and we have wind, and that's something we want to utilize. So we had challenges. We had the refrigerator in the camper would sometimes work, and then all of a sudden it just didn't work anymore, so we were stuck using coolers. And researching the refrigerator, there was no fixing it unless you were a specific refrigerator repairman to just that model or something silly. It's a little ridiculous, but we didn't have that. We tried to get phone and internet up here. Once we can get service, we'd go down the mountain, make phone calls, come back up, go down the mountain, come back up, and trying to make arrangements for everything was just an ordeal, because they can't get in touch with us to contact us to say they're coming or not coming, to do phone and internet, to come and do our well. We got a well dug that took 3 days to dig, so we were hoping that water would come through. It was, that's another challenge in itself. The well got dug. It's deep. Hopefully it lasts us forever and ever, because we don't want to have to ever go through that again. The gravel pad we got laid out so that we could buy a shipping container to put on a flat surface, and we planned to frame that in to live in. Now initially the camper was never supposed to be forever. It was supposed to be longer than that, but it did not serve cold well. It is not a 4-season or all-season camper like we would think, so it was way too cold in there. So the can, as we affectionately call the shipping container, is super warm. It is very cozy. It's very sturdy. I don't worry about anything happening to it. The wind blows. We don't know anything inside there. So we got the can up here and had the next challenges. We're trying to get supplies for it. There's supplies nearby, but the nearest town is half an hour away, and the major town is an hour away. So to get material and to go down and travel and make all these these trips is a lot of extra effort that we really didn't want to have to keep taking. So the can and getting the framed in inside is what we did. Put walls and a floor and insulated it all. We ordered a sliding door to put at the end of it so that we have light and an entrance and exit from it, not just the actual shipping doors. So we ordered the door. Again, another challenge is to get the door. We ordered it. It was supposed to be delivered. Apparently they tried to call, but they tried to call our cell phone, so we didn't get the message. Then Matthew called the delivery place and asked them when the delivery was supposed to come, and they weren't coming anytime in the foreseeable future because they didn't have enough stuff to deliver up this way. So we had to cancel that order, go to a different store, get that door, and then they did deliver it quickly. They were supposed to bring it the next day. Didn't come to the following week, which after this point we'd already been waiting a month just on a door to get here. So we're still in the camper. It's cold, it's wet, it's damp. We just can't get warm in that thing. The air mattresses are awful. They just kept deflating. We're just we're just frustrated, and I say unhappy. We're happy here. We're unhappy with some of the situations. They just were presenting way more challenges than we had thought that they would. Thought things would be a little bit smoother. We knew there would be rocky areas, but we thought it would be smoother than it was. So the door comes up here. Oh, I am ready to dance a jig. I was like, we got a door. We're getting in the can. We're getting out of that camper. We can get our wood stove in there, and we can get warm. And they no sooner got, I don't know, a mile away. They weren't even probably a mile away. And we're looking at the door, and there's a scratch on the glass. And we're going, oh my gosh, seriously? So he gets on the phone to the store, calls them, explains what happens. Can we come and do we have to bring the whole door down, or can we just bring the panel to you? Oh, just bring the panel. That's fine. We get down to the store, and then they're like, we can't do that. I can't just give you the panel from another door. I was to hear. I'll tell you, we were supposed to be in the camper be out of the camper by Halloween. That was our goal. By Halloween, we were supposed to be out by Thanksgiving. I think this is like the week of Thanksgiving. And I was like, just by Christmas, please just let us be out of this camper and in this can by Christmas. We just need a door so we can sleep in there and be secure. So we're in the store for, I don't know, half an hour. And finally, they call one of the managers, and he comes over. He says, wait a minute, tell me the story again. So I explain the story again. Now me, I'm ready. I'm like walking the aisles, ready to burst into tears. I'm just so flustered. I'm so upset. And it felt a little hopeless. And to say that we have hope is different in feeling hopeless. And I think that happens so often, is that there's just that hope, that hopeless feeling that we get. And we try not to camp there, and to just move on and hold on to Scripture and hold on to our faith in God, and that He's going to carry us through, and we're going to make it through to the other side. But at that moment, and in that turmoil, it just feels like there's no getting out of it. It feels hopeless, and I hate to say I hate, but I don't like that feeling of hopelessness. But we don't live there, because we know that we have a hope in God, and all things are going to work out just fine. And Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare, not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. So we know all the plans that God has, and He's got all of this planned out. He's in control, all of it. We're just living it, and we're trying to abide by what the plan is and recalculate as necessary. So as I'm standing there in the middle of the store, and I'm ready to start crying, and I'm praying, Lord, why? Why can't this door just work out? I just don't understand why it's this door. It's just the next thing in this cycle. All these things, refrigerators and coolers and water and all these things, and now just the doors just holding us up from getting out of this camper and into this can. And it wasn't within minutes that the guy comes over and he tells Matthew, yeah, we can totally do that. And I just felt this huge relief. And I don't always go to God first, and I'm supposed to, and I don't always do it. But I was so thankful that I did, because he's the only one in control. So he could have said no. The door could have come back and it could have been a wait, and that's fine too. It worked out this time. It doesn't always work out, but it did. And we always say, I hope this works out. I hope you have a happy birthday. I hope you're feeling better. I hope anything. Insert your expression that you use all the time. I hope this is great. This works out. I hope this is a good plan. Whatever it is. And that's terrible for us to think like that. I don't want to think like that. I want to think that I have a hope. And we have hope. And that's different from that. And even in challenging times, they say that people in turmoil grasp for hope. And that's probably what we were doing, is grasping for hope. And we got direction from friends and family that were cheering for us, and they want us to do well, and because they love us. And they would send us encouraging words, and they would send us scripture, and they would send us prayers and lift us up. And because of that, we were able to refocus. We were able to shift our attention back to God and back to the ministry and back to the plan. And I'm so thankful for all those people that did that for us, because we weren't grasping for hope, but we weren't leaning on God for support. We knew He was in charge, but we weren't leaning like we were supposed to. So to say that we're learning to lean into hope and learning to lean into God for hope, His hope and the hope in Him, is what we're trying to do here. It's not my first go-to. As humans, it's not the easy path. It's not what we do. Things are hard, and we knew that this was going to be hard. This whole bit, we've got so much land here to manage, and we've got a huge ministry ahead of us, and we have to just go to work every day and live life, and that's hard. And one of our friends had said, you chose to do this. Felt a little unsympathetic at the time, but it's true, we did choose to do this, and we chose the hard way to do it, to do it off grid, and to do it simply, and to do it ourselves, trying to do as much as we can on our own, not on our own, but ourselves, the work ourselves, putting our backs into it. But lots of things are hard. As we were talking earlier, marriage is hard, but you make a choice to do it. And in our marriage, we made a choice that divorce isn't an option. So no matter how hard it gets, we're not going anywhere. We're still going to work through things and make this work. Parenting is hard. We've got 2 kids, and I'll tell you, there have been a lot of times it has been super hard, but you can't quit. You made the choice to be a parent, and it's hard, and that's almost where the reward comes in at the end. The hard is what makes it worth it. We've gone to bed many a night here after being outside chopping wood or taking down trees or just cleaning up the sticks and such, and we have been physically exhausted, barely able to even eat a sandwich for dinner or something, just ready to fall into a bed. And it felt great because it was hard, and we did it. It just felt so much more rewarding. So marriage, it's hard. You make a choice. Parenting, you make the choice. It's hard. It's okay. So we made the choice to move here and plan this ministry and make it happen. That's the plan. So the turmoil and the challenges, they're okay. We wouldn't be alive if there wasn't some sort of challenge or some turmoil to be had in everything. Just living causes problems sometimes. Not problems, but it causes challenges, poses challenges. Psalm 43:5 says, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God." We don't want to take the turmoil, and we don't want to get spun up in it. We don't want to exist in that. We want to take it, get through it, get on the other side, and learn from it, and just keep moving forward. We have so much to do here, and such a huge plan for ministry that we don't have time to stop and or quit. We'll never quit. We're here, and we're going to work through it all, no matter what the challenges are, and they are plenty. When we get a chance someday, ask me about the night that we moved the camper, and I'll tell you about the night that I probably could have had a nervous breakdown if that were a thing. I don't know what that would look like if that were the case. But if that would have been the night. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you very much for participating in the Rebecca Conference. I would encourage you to check out the other videos. There were Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Today's Thursday, so tomorrow there'll be another one. Share this with somebody if you think it could be an encouragement to them, or if you just want to say, hey, this is my friend Tracey. This is what she's doing. She's living in the middle of nowhere. We have a chance to reconnect tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. I don't live in the same time zone, so I have to be specific on that. And there is a link on the Facebook page for Rebecca Conference. I think it's just Rebecca Conference or Rebecca Conference Coal City. There's a link on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, then you can email RebeccaConferenceCoalCity@gmail.com. Email them, and they will send you a link to it. And you can check in and chat with me live tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time. If you are not able to and you'd like to connect with me personally, you can email me at karenministries@gmail.com. And if you have some encouraging words or you have some critiques or anything else, I'd be happy to connect with you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Trust